It's a Cosmo. Now, who am I and why should you care? I'm Brian. I'm a fourth generation car guy. My dad and my grandfather were wrenching on cars when I was younger, so it was bound that I would get into it too. I'm an automotive journalist as well. I wrote for 8 years about the Japanese collector car market. I now run a website called kiteracer.com where I talk about old Japanese subculture that was kind of still around, but not really talked about online as much as far as the details go. So I dive into the details and the stuff I geek out about. And I want to turn this into my own kite eraser. Now, it's not the first time I've built something. Back in high school, I started with a Honda CRX as my second car, but first project. I had that for about 10 years. I did a B16 swap. I drove it all around the Pacific Northwest. And there became a point where I felt like I'd done enough with it. And that's when I bought this back in 2012. And this has been a slow project that has had a lot of hurdles. For example, I picked it up and it didn't even have an engine in it. It had a 3/4 built engine on a stand. And then I decided to take the bucket of parts and figure out how to put it back together. On top of that, I was on an accident on the coast, and that set me back at least 2 years because I had to get the frame straightened and other stuff, and it was stuck in auto body hell, and stuck at an auto body shop for about a year or two. On top of that, I had to accumulate enough money to import all the fiberglass pieces, plus pay for shipping. That took quite a bit of time, and I didn't want to half-ass do it. So I paid for the paint work, which was done by friends, and body work, which was also done by friends, because I didn't want to fail on this car. But in the meantime there, when my car was down, I had a Toyota Cressida, and I built that because I really wanted to actually complete a kite eraser since this was taking too long. And then I got sidetracked, and I started building scooters, and I started to help foster a community around these. I still am a part of it, but I don't really touch the scooters much anymore. I have some parts. I want to respec that one, but it's currently not in the plans right now. But I took a little sidetrack to work on scooters for a bit. And I was missing my Honda CRX days, so I picked up another Civic, and I B16 swapped this. And I made it look more like how they do in Osaka. And this has been fun. And at some point, I was just like, all right, I want to do another kite eraser. I want to do another 70s bass. There's a few details that initially drew me to the Cosmo. This is the sweeping fastback that is kind of similar to the Laurel. And the opera window just provides a little airflow to your back passengers. It's got that American 70s vibe to it that I think Americans at the time didn't want a Japanese car to be that, but Japanese people wanted a Japanese car that was similar to that. But I don't know. It's got this vibe that doesn't really exist anymore. So I had to have it. Initially, I kind of just started browsing at them when they'd pop up. I believe there was like a year or two ago, there was one that popped up in northern Idaho. He wanted about $6,000, and it had like a little ding in the backside. It was just a little too far away to really make the effort to go get it. And then earlier this year, I started browsing, and one popped up in Vancouver, Washington for about $1,700, somewhere around there. It didn't seem like it had the title. It had a way to get a title, possibly. I didn't know too much about how Washington title law works and how to recover an abandoned vehicle with that paperwork and how easy it might be. My hunt continued. I missed out on one that was black for sale in the Tacoma area. It was running and driving. It's okay though. I was like, it's not the right time. About a month ago, I was laid off from my job. I'd been meaning to look for another job eventually, but this kind of set me out to go do it sooner. So I was given a severance package and I got my PTO paid out. So I had a little bit of money on me. And so I was like, you know what? I got all this free time right now. This might be a perfect time to start another project. So I started hunting hard. Came across one on Facebook that was listed available. It had some rust on some parts and it looked like something hit it on the front end. It's listed as make me an offer. So I gave the guy a call and I was like, hey, what do you think about like 19, something around that? He's like, well, I don't know about that, I don't know. I was like, well, it's been hit by a deer, the grill needs to be replaced, like it's got a severe amount of rust on the outside. And he's like, but the interior is immaculate. And I was like, yeah, true, but like, what would you work with me on? And he's like, well, I need to figure out the estate. He's selling it for his neighbor whose husband passed away. And this was one of their cars and it's been sitting for a while now. Let me know, what about 25? And he was like, I don't know, I think I could get 36 for it. And I was like, that seems crazy for this car that you know like little about. It's automatic, it's got the 12A in it, like whatever you think. And so I didn't hear back from him. So I kept hunting. I found a couple on OfferUp in California. At this point, I'm like, they have to be all in Tacoma or they have to all be in LA because they keep popping up around that area. And I kept searching on OfferUp and I found another one near Tacoma. So, and that's this one here. I tried contacting the guy. He responded immediately. And we had a little bit of issue initially trying to figure out a day that would work that I could come up there. I myself had a lot of free time and I think they were busy with life as well. And I kept searching just in case. I came in contact with another guy who has one through a friend, and I tried hitting them up, and they made it seem like their car was a really nice runner and that they wouldn't let it go for cheap. Finally secured a date, and my friend and I picked up a buddy's trailer early in the morning. We drove up, so we ended up meeting up with this guy. He made it very convenient for us. He brought the car to a big open empty parking lot where a dead Hobby Lobby was. Showed up, we unloaded the car, super nice guy. He says he's got 2 more Cosmos, one he's gonna restore, one he's gonna part out. So I'm like, perfect, I can hit you up if I need any parts. I start looking over this car and I'm like, wow, it's pretty complete. Like, it's straight, a lot of surface rust, and that's fine. Cars from this era have rust, I understand that. So. But I was really happy to look inside the car and see like almost all the dash pieces were there. And when I asked him, I was like, hey, is there an ashtray? And he's like, oh, it's in the back. I was like, oh, cool. So like all the parts are pretty much there. So I wasn't too scared. From my understanding, there's maybe less than 100 of these still available in the US. I'd love for somebody to correct me how many they think is actually available left. This one is a 1978. Apparently only 1,800-ish were ever made. And I believe that's a global number too. So very limited quantities. So this might be a 1 in 10 car in the States. Unfortunately for me, that makes it really hard to find parts. We get it loaded up, take it back, unload it from the vehicle, we push it into the garage, start slowly tearing it apart to start building it. And that's where we are now. So far I've had it for about a month. I've been putting in a lot of hours. I probably have 5 videos that I could build right now. A lot of YouTube videos are like extreme level of detail restorations. And then you've also got the people that are just slapping on parts quickly to build a car in one episode. I'm kind of going for somewhere in the middle of that. Like, I want to learn my welding a little bit better on this because I really haven't had that much experience having apartment garages in the past and not being able to weld in a garage. So I want to practice my welding skills. I'm not going to be able to fix all the rust. Like, I'm going to try to tackle a lot of the rust, but some of it, you know, the rust encapsulator is going to have to do its job. I'll try to sand most of it. For example, the trunk is pretty rough. You're going to see that in the next video, but the trunk is pretty rough and I'm going to start tackling that. And you know what? Some of it just needs a 415 coat, and that's good enough. I think My main goal is to make a nice runner driver to start with, and then I can get it looking even nicer on the outside. But my initial goals are to clean up the trunk area, clean up the interior, make that looking nice and fresh, possibly repair the dash. And then I really want to get the engine put together and get that running in the car so the car can drive, so I can go title it, so I can go register it. So I can maybe have a little bit of fun before the rain hits here in Portland. And then I want to tear it down again, and I want to redo the engine bay. Scope creep or maybe big hopes. I'd like to do like a wire tuck in the engine bay. We'll see how I feel come later this year, but that's kind of the goal for that. As for the goal for the outside, just remove rust at this point. I haven't really thought of a color that much. I know eventually I want to be a kite eraser, so something along those lines. Probably not too extreme where I'm cutting off metal, but like I'll bolt on flares and stuff. Thanks for watching this video. I'm excited to expand my skill set, learning on this car. I'm gonna be releasing a batch of videos every Wednesday for a while until I run out of things to work on this car. Hopefully that doesn't happen soon. Hopefully I can keep going for at least a couple months, but feel free to subscribe so you can get updates when they come out.